Hola, welcome to a brand new episode of Beanie Faces. I'm April, aka the Wolf of Makeup. I hope you guys are having a good day, a good week. You guys know what I'm about to say. Wash your hands and your ass. Summer's coming, and not only do I want to go out, but I don't want to smell you. So for all of our sakes, I have very sensitive nostrils. If I smell something nasty, I'm going to throw up. So please, for everyone's sake, wash your ass because of the virus and no one wants to smell you. Sorry about that. Just, guys, come on. I want to go out. Fuck. As you can see by the title of my video, I'm going to be talking about my growing love for independent wrestling, and man, oh man, it has been such a journey, and there has been so many people who have been influencing this journey. I'm going to be talking about them, talking about how they've been getting me into it, talking about shows that I've gone to while recreating this beautiful look Zelina Vega had. Now, I don't remember which Raw she was rocking this. I thought it was this past week, but she was rocking a cut crease. But this halo eye, which I think it is a halo eye, I'm going by the picture that I saw, but oh my god. Y'all are going to see my struggle with these black shadows, because shit. So, I think you should grab something to eat because it is a little story time, and let's do this, bruh. Alright, so let's get this started. You already know the drill. Brows are done, eyes are primed. I'm trying something new where I will do the first eye off camera just so I can get an idea of what I'm doing. A lot of the looks that I am recreating, I do want to feel comfortable while I'm filming, so I figured, you know what, let me do it first, get it right, and I could do it right the second time, hopefully, because, you know, makeup life. Okay, so I need to start all the way from the beginning. Now, as I've told you guys many times before, and I'm going to keep saying this over and over, I am still brand new in the wrestling life that we know of today. And indie wrestling, if you guys seen my first video, I didn't know what indie wrestling was. I was not familiar with anything outside of big name companies like WWE, which was, you know, the biggest name at the time. Now we got AEW, we got Impact on TV, New Japan. Still learning all this stuff. So when I went to my first independent show, it had to be summer of 2018. Now, I used to work with a girl, one of my old coworkers, big wrestling head. She called me up, and it was in the summer. She said, hey, you want to go to a wrestling show? Hell yeah, I'm down to go to a wrestling show. What kind of wrestling show is it? She mentioned House of Glory. Never heard of this place before. Didn't know what it was. I said, what is this? She goes, oh, it's a wrestling school. A lot of famous wrestlers go there to train. And a lot of them started there until they got signed with big name companies. So I was like, okay, you know what? Wrestling show. And it was during, I think it was SummerSlam weekend. So I was really excited going to my first indie show. And then SummerSlam was here in New York. And that Monday, I was going to go to Monday Night Raw. So I'm like, you know what? Let me have a full wrestling weekend. I go, and the place is in Queens. Love the venue. I think it's a club venue. And I fell in love with the place. Very classic, old school. Now, like I said, I did not know who was on the card. All she said was, just come. It's going to be a great show. You know what? Fine. Show's only $20. What? Shit, I could do $20. I'm just saying. So I go to the show. I love the venue. And oh my God, I had such an amazing time. You have no idea. Pause. And it was the first time that I've seen all of these wrestlers. I'm not familiar. I don't remember the card too well. I remember the first time I went there was the first time I seen Low Key. The first time I've seen, oh my God, my favorite dude on their roster, Mantequilla. Yo, I love him. He's so fucking awesome in the ring. He's really dope. Who else was in there? I think Smiley was there. I'm not quite sure, but I do remember the main event was a no ropes match between Anthony Gangone and Amazing Red. Now, I remembered Amazing Red's name, but like I said, really wasn't familiar with his work. You know, anyone outside of WWE that I watched, I wasn't really too familiar with. So everyone was like, oh my God, Amazing Red is here. This is dope. And I'm like, okay. And that match, oh my God. That shit was so fucking awesome. It was no holds barred, no ropes. I didn't know what to expect at all. So when the match was going on, they took the ropes off the ring. And, no holds barred. We had some thumbtacks. We had some ladder action. We had some table action, chairs action. It was so fucking awesome. And I loved it so much. And what I loved mostly, like, the show was great, but I love the energy from the crowd. Like, when I go to a show, I want crowds to just bug the fuck out. I want us to wild out. I want us to heckle the wrestlers. I want us all to have fun, because at the end of the day, it is a show. But that show was so great. I think there's still clips on YouTube. I'm pretty sure I'm going to leave some clips up here. Obviously, I saved them all. Every single wrestling show I go to, I'm now recording everything that's going on, because you never know. You never know. So that was back in 2018. After that, I really didn't go to any other wrestling shows. Like I said, I really didn't have a big group of wrestling friends. So around that time, I was still getting my feet wet back on wrestling and everything. So a year later, 2019, I'm getting more and more into the indie scene. AEW made their announcement. So I'm doing my research on who is getting signed, who are these people, and a lot of them are indie people. So at this point, House of Glory is the only indie promotion that I knew of. Once again, I didn't have a lot of wrestling friends who were into the indie scene. So they had House of Glory, High Intensity 8, I think it was, for SummerSlam weekend again. I dragged my best friend Iggy, and I'm like, dude, I don't have anyone to go to this show with. We need to go, specifically because it is the Young Bucks' last show. They're fighting Private Party. I've seen Private Party, a couple matches on YouTube. I said, we need to go to the show. And there's a possibility we might get to meet them. They had a meet and greet. I was so mad. They sold out on tickets. I was tight. It was okay, show's still $20. I got a nice spot at the bar, see everything, and so good. So friggin' good. I swear. Pause. Now, that was another show. I really can't remember who was on the roster. I do remember that was LAX's Now Proud and Powerful's last show, and it was so funny because as soon as they ended their match, everyone started chanting AEW. They're telling us, oh, it's our last show. We're going to be going somewhere. We all knew they were going to AEW, and I was like, you know what? Y'all going to AEW. I didn't care. No one really cared, but it was really, really awesome. That was the first time I've seen them as well, and I was going in on the Young Bucks match with Private Party. That was the show. Hangman came out and did that promo, and I was so hyped, because at this point I knew when it comes to these wrestling shows, depending on who's there, whether they're part of a faction or a crew, someone was going to be there. So I had a feeling it was either going to be Hangman or Kenny. And my friend, he was fucking with me like, oh, it's going to be Moxley, it's going to be Moxley. And around that time, it was when he got injured or he was still in Japan. And it was around, I know it was 2 weeks before All Out, so I can remember. So that was such a fun show. And after that, I was like, okay, I need to find more independent shows. And around this time, I was with my old podcast, so I was meeting a lot of people, on Facebook, Instagram, who go to indie shows, have conversations. So there were a couple people there who I recognized, a couple people who I hung out with. It was really fun. People who, I met on Facebook, they was chilling with me, telling me who's who in the matches and everything. It was really dope. I really, really loved that. So after that, I was like, okay, I need to go to more independent shows. Where are they? Because for what I knew, House of Glory was mostly in New York. So I want to say a little bit after All Out. Now, I love listening to podcasts, especially wrestling podcasts, and I have grown a love for female wrestling podcasts. Hello, I was on a podcast. I was the only female there. I want to talk to more females. Sometimes it gets tiring talking to guys whining about wrestling. So like, okay, can I talk to some females and we both can whine about wrestling? So one day I was on iTunes and I just Googled, Google iTunes, female wrestling podcasts or just wrestling podcasts. And I was at that time, I was listening to those wrestling. Shout out to those wrestling girls and Wrestling Wind Down. If you guys have not checked out their shows, so good. I love these girls. You guys are awesome. And I came across this podcast because shout out to the Queen of NE, girl. Because of your show, honestly, I wouldn't be here. I honestly would have not be here talking about indie wrestling, doing this channel. You know, there's so many people that I gotta, you know, dedicate my road here, but this girl, I loved it. She did an episode with now the queen of the indies, Tiffany. Now, if you guys are not following the No Holds Barred network, I don't know what you're doing, because it is the network for All Elite Wrestling and indie wrestling. And now there are not a lot of podcast shows with indie wrestling. And if you guys are not following No Holds Barred network, again, follow it. Shit is fire. And they had two queens talking about wrestling, talking about the list of husbands. Now, I said to remember the list of husbands a couple episodes ago, so we're going along with it. And they're just talking about their favorite male wrestlers. They got this list of husbands talking about who they love in the ring, and Tiffany was mostly mentioning independent guys. The only person I recognized on her list was Anthony Kangone, and the rest I was like, I don't know who these people were. They got me thinking about my list of husbands, so I reached out to the both of them. We fangirled about our list of husbands. I started talking to Tiffany more. I found out she was in Queens, and I wanted to meet her. I was like, okay, I need to meet this girl because she sounds pretty awesome. We both love wrestling. Let's do this. So we met back in November of last year for House of Glories. I think it was their 9th anniversary show with Private Party versus Lucha Bros. It was just such an amazing freaking show. And around this time, I was knowing a lot more people every time. Facebook, Instagram, I was still meeting a lot of people. So this was the first show I went to where I recognized almost everyone who was there. You know, we're all fans, and I got to meet new people, and it was just so awesome. So as soon as I met Tiffany, it was a wrap. We lost it. We completely lost it. You know, when I go to shows, and if you guys are watching and know me personally, y'all know I wow out. Y'all know I wow the fuck out. I want to have fun. That's the whole thing going to freaking live shows. Just, let's have fun. We're watching wrestling. You know, it's just wrestling, people. It's just wrestling. So we go to the show. We got along greatly. After that, it was like, okay, I need to hang out with this girl more because she's queen of the indies. I need to know more about the indie scene because I know nothing. And I told her, can you please teach me? Teach me. Be the Jedi to my Padawan. Show me the way. Because I was just so completely lost. And after that, we bonded instantly. I think a couple weeks after that, we went to an IWW show. I think that was the promotion name, in Queens. I was not familiar with it. It was a wrestling show in an art gallery, which, you know, I don't judge, you know, especially since I've been watching a lot of indie wrestling, and a lot of their shows, they're not in, you know, bars. Like, some of them are in bars, some of them are in churches, some schools, and it's pretty cool. So we went to this show. Once again, I was not familiar with anyone on the roster. It was the first time I seen, let me see if I remember. First time I saw Karen Bam Bam, which I freaking love her. She's fucking dope. Hank Flanagan in the ring. Brother Greatness. He is another one. I love him. He is so fucking dope in the ring, and I really enjoy him. And that was another fun show. And this show was such a hot mess. Tiffany loves to sit front row. So like, okay, we're gonna do this front row stuff. And we were literally front row. Like, the ring and us were probably maybe 5-6 inches away. So we were literally sitting by the ring, and I'm just over here like, okay, if a wrestler falls on me, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I mean, fuck it, this is wrestling and shit happens. And one thing I love about indie shows, you never know what's gonna happen. Anything crazy can happen, and sometimes it's improvised, sometimes it's in, I guess, the script, as you want to call it, but I love it so much. It was so freaking awesome. So that was a fun show, and I love indie wrestling. It's so fucking awesome. So after that show, I'm still doing research. I'm on YouTube. I feel like I was on YouTube 24/7 shit. I was even at work. Don't tell nobody, okay? But my job already knows. I was at work, even on YouTube, just Googling these promotions that I'm familiar with, Googling these wrestlers, and it was just really awesome to, you know, go on Google and see some of your favorite wrestlers working in promotions. You know, like I said, I was following the AEW roster, so I'm looking up, who is Joey Janela? what promotions have he worked for? Death matches and all that shit. He's fucking crazy. You know, Orange Cassidy, and that time they announced Britt Baker, so I was looking at her stuff, and I was just going through videos and videos and videos and seeing so many of my favorites, even favorites in WWE like Ricochet, Drew McIntyre, Seth Rollins when he was Tyler Black, Daniel Bryan. I was just so fascinated at this point. It's like, I want to know more. I need to know more. And every time I'll hit up Tiffany, like, okay, when's the next show we're going to? I'm getting show withdrawal. It'll be like 3 weeks. And I'm like, okay, I need to go to a show. I don't know how this works. She tells me there's a show. I think it was the first show in January. That IWW show, I think it was in November. I'm not quite sure, remember the dates. She tells me about ICW in Jersey. I hit up my boy, who is also still part of the UPR Unpopular Review cast. I said, dude, we're going to Jersey. I want to go to a show. I don't care. I'm trying to convince my best friend, let's come to Jersey. Everyone's like, you're going to Jersey for a wrestling show? Seriously? Why not? Why not? I just went to Chicago to see All Out. I don't understand what the problem is. Jersey's literally right there. It's not that serial. We go to ICW. I did not know what to expect. Now, when Tiffany told me about this show, I was familiar with some people. I knew Low Key was there. I was familiar with Tessa Blanchard. I've heard of Nick Gage, Jimmy Lloyd. So I was like, okay, you know, I've been following Tessa Blanchard a lot at this time. So I was like, okay, that'll be great. They had a meet and greet. Love to meet her. Let's do this. Like I told you guys, I get very nervous around wrestlers, but I was very happy. I was very proud of myself when I got to meet Tessa. I was brave, and she was a real sweetheart. And this show, I did not know what to expect. All Tiffany told me was, have you ever seen a CZW show? No. How about GCW? No. Okay. This show might scare you. Just letting you know, because shit's gonna get real. I'm like, okay. And at this point, I've gone to a couple of indie shows with tables, you know, ladders and stuff. She's like, no, this is nothing compared to the shows that you've gone to. And she was telling me she was gonna go to a CZW show. It was the first time. This was like prep for her, so I was a little nervous. And fun fact about me, back in my late teens, early to mid 20s, I used to go to a lot of metal concerts. Like, I was a huge metalhead, still a huge metalhead now, and I used to go to a lot of concerts. And I felt like my journey with wrestling is very similar to my journey of going to metal concerts. I've been listening to metal my whole life. I started going to a lot of shows in my late teens, early 20s. Also, I thought it was just big stadium, you know, shows at this point. I have gone to a couple of big shows. So when I started going to bars to watch, you know, some of these independent bands, it used to be chaotic. And at this point, you know, I was going into mosh pits. So I was used to people coming up on me, you know, hitting people hitting me, like staying in close encounters. And I was all about that life. I was completely all about that life. And when I went to, I forgot where it was in Jersey City. First of all, the room was beautiful, and the way the ring was set up, it was by a stage, and there was nothing but chains around the ring. So I was just like, oh my God, what the fuck did I get myself into? And it's $40 because the show's like I paid $20 for this show, and that's one thing I love about these indie shows. I think the highest price I've seen is maybe $40. And the meet and greets, I think it was like $50 to do a meet and greet with Tessa Blanchard. So it's not expensive at all. And, you know, they have the merch and stuff. So I got real, you know, old school metal vibes. And I was loving it. I felt like I was back in my early 20s. Like, okay, the bands are going to start. Where to go for the pits, where to sit. Now, at this point, I didn't know the general admissions was for standing. Been there, done that, it's all good. I hit my boy up, Victor. I'm like, okay, we're going to stand over here. We were by the stage. Unfortunately, Tiffany and I didn't get to sit together, but it's okay. We were still in eye distance. Like, I can see you type thing. And, oh my God. The first match was Tessa Blanchard and Nick Gage. I was scared. I was so scared. They were fighting towards our way, and we just had to move out of the way. And, you know, security was on us, like, don't touch the wrestler. So we're backing up at the same time, trying to record, trying to enjoy the match. We're cursing. I'm cursing at Nick Gage that he ain't shit. He's cursing back at us. I was loving the energy. I was like, oh my God, I live for this shit. I was like, I all the matches were no holds barred. There were tables with barbed wires. There was a match between Homicide and Casanova, and oh my god, he had a giant dildo with nails in it. He was just swinging it. I'm like, oh my god, what the fuck did I get myself into? And there were just nothing but just friggin' boards with empty cans like open. They're just falling on there, and bats, and it was just so fucking crazy. And I forgot there was this one match. I forgot who it is. They were fighting outside of the ring, and it was just blood everywhere. And this was, pre-corona. So there was just blood everywhere, hitting each other with freaking boards, like wooden boards, and wood was flying everywhere, blood was flying everywhere. I was just like, what the fuck? And I had to get back in my, metal stage, like, okay, you're not gonna be in a mosh pit, just back away, try to get a good spot, but still back away. And I've gone to a lot of metal shows where there was blood, shit flying all over the place. Believe me, guys, I've seen it all. I feel like I've seen it all when it comes to metal shows, but this was on a whole nother level, and I was so nervous. And I was like, oh my god, I don't want this blood on me. This is not sanitary. This isn't cool, people. What the fuck? And this was also another show where I had a lot of friends there, so it was so cool to, like, you go to the show and be like, oh my god, hi. I felt at that point, it was like I felt like I was at that point part of the community. And it was so fucking awesome, and I had such an amazing time. But shit got real. There was just one match, and I think I moved to, the front of the ring at this point, because there were a lot of matches going outside the ring, but we couldn't see. So when it was during intermission, I told my boy, okay, let's move over here, because this is where they're flying out. Bruh. So there was this match, oh my god, I think his name was Schleck versus the Necro Butcher, I think. And oh my god, the first thing, I didn't know who these guys were. I didn't know the Necro Butcher was like the king of death matches. And I see this old man in the ring with this giant monster. And I'm like, oh my god, he's going to kill this old man. What the fuck? And I'm screaming elder abuse and shit, just wilding out. And of course they got out of the ring. Same thing. They're fighting towards us, towards the bar. And it was one point where they were literally 4 feet away from me, and they were just fighting, and I'm backing up like, oh hell no, I'm not gonna get in the middle of this. I knew I wasn't gonna get hit, but at the same time, they're doing a show. You need to get out of the way, have respect. And some people don't, but you know what, those are the ones who get kicked out because they want to be douchebags and shit, because at the end of the day, it's just wrestling. It's not that fucking serial. And when the match ended, I didn't realize my friend had blood on his NWO jacket. So he was trying to figure out whose blood it was. He was like, I think it was either Schleck's or the Viejos. So I was like, you know what, go find them. So we actually got the jacket signed by the both of them. And I told him, yo, you can't wear that anymore. That's not sanitary. You have people's blood on your jacket, and it's signed. It was just, I smile because I love that shit. I crave for that shit. So that has to be one of my all-time favorite shows. Oh my god. You guys have no idea the withdrawal from the indie shows, because before this friggin' virus, I was supposed to go to maybe 3 or 4 shows. 3 or 4 indie shows, then All Out. And I mean, this bullshit, guys, I've gotten really close to Tiffany, and homegirl literally had a planner booked for months telling me, this is the next show, this is the next show, this is the next show. And I'm trying to be smart. Okay, I can go to this show, I can't go to that show, I could go to this show. I want to go to all of them. It's just so fucking awesome. And people who aren't into indie wrestling, you guys got to give it a chance, because your favorite wrestler started somewhere. I'm just saying. And it's so fun, and it's so raw, and you can find them anywhere. I'm at this point where I'm just like, I do not have my license. I'm a New Yorker. Don't sue me. I'm like, I'm going to get my license just so I could travel to these shows. I need to do it. I friggin' need to. So when all this shit is over, I'm hoping and praying that we get some indie wrestling back, because it's bullshit. Oh, before I move on to the next show I went to, at this show I met Killer Cross. I was so brave. I was so proud of myself because I saw that he was having a impromptu signing. And I was telling Victor, oh my God, I want to meet him. I think he is so beautiful. He's about to be on the list of husbands. And he was just like, okay, let's go meet him. My shy ass, he drags me to meet him. Tells me he's going to start doing a meet and greet. And I was like, you know what? Let's do this. Let's do this. Oh my God. I was so proud of myself. I mean, I gotta give my friend credit because I get nervous. It's not my fault. I got to meet him. Oh my God, he's so beautiful. He was so beautiful, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna be brave. And I knew of him. This is the first time I've seen him live. I've seen a couple of his matches, but I knew of him because he had an independent match with Moxley, and you already know Moxley's #1 husband. I follow him everywhere. And he had this crazy match with Jon Moxley. If you guys haven't seen it, look it up. And they were due for a rematch. It was a very submission match. So fucking awesome. So dope. So I was like, okay, I'm going to go up there and I'm going to talk to him just a little bit because I know there's a line. I want to be very considerate. As soon as I take my picture with him, and I was like, so I got a question for you. And he was like, yeah, what's up? So when am I going to get my rematch with Moxley? He starts laughing. He's like, I don't know. I said, dude, do you realize how awesome that match was? And he was like, I've heard it was pretty good. And I was like, no, dude, that match was fucking amazing. I need my rematch. And he was like, I don't know. Maybe, you know, Moxley's a really busy guy. I'm a busy guy. I don't know. Why don't you go and tweet out Tony Khan? And I was like, you know what? I will tweet Tony Khan and I'm going to tag you and I'm going to let him know I want my fucking match. And he's like, you know what? Let's fucking do it. Let's fucking do it. I was like, I will. And then I smiled and left. I'm such a freaking dork. I really am. And that night, I actually tweeted out Tony Khan. And I said, I want my match between Killer Cross and Jon Moxley. Because that match was so fucking awesome. And now, he is now carrying Cross with NXT. Which is fine, I guess. I mean, you know, contracts do run out sometimes. And I don't know. I really do hope he has a really good run in NXT. But I'm hoping for the future. You know, Moxley can still work outside of AEW. I don't know about independent shows because I know that's what he was doing before all this. So I don't know. Maybe one day we will have that rematch. And I'm hoping and praying it's in New York because Killer Cross is on my list of husbands and I would love to see my husbands fight. Just saying. Yo, let me tell y'all something. I'm so nervous. I'm not going to front. When I decided to do this eye look, I was very nervous because you can see black is very, very hard to blend out. And also it's very, very hard to make it look like you don't have a black eye, which I got going on right now, but it's okay. We're going to fix this, people. We're going to fix this. By the way, here's a quick makeup tip. If you feel like there's too much going on, you take a brush with a little bit of powder, and then you could just smush it around your eye, and it will actually help the blending. You may have to pack on the color even more. Like I'm going to have to pack it on even more right now, but it does really, really help. Just a little makeup tip for y'all in case, you know, you want to try a blending thing and it's looking a little bit crazy. Get a little brush with some powder on there. Smush that shit. It really does help. So now I'm going to finish this eye up because I'm taking way too long on the blending and I'll be right back. Alright, so the eyes are done. I just got started on the face. Every time I use stick foundation, I always got to use a brush and you already know how I feel about brushes and me talking and never works out. So the last show I went to was a charity show for BWF. It was called Wrestling for a Cause. And normally BWF have their shows in the Bronx, but this one was in Queens. This show was so awesome, and at this point I was very, very proud of myself because I knew who the majority of the roster were. I knew Leroy Green was there, Anthony Gangone, Hank Flanagan, Too Good, who else? The first time I was seeing Valentine in the ring, another badass female wrestler who does great intergender matches. She's so fucking dope. Oh my god. It was the first time I seen Bones. And oh my god, he friggin' scared. He scared me, but I do love his character. Another show where we got to meet a lot of fun people. Ray, I'm telling you, and I'm going to call him out right now. He was so embarrassed. He was supposed to sit with Tiffany and I, and he knows how we rock. We're loud, we're fun. I had some of my unpopular review people with me, and we were just going crazy. We were having fun, being loud. We were lit. Like that show, I can say we were litty to the littiest of litties. Use that, whatever. So fucking fun. And also with this show, I got to meet a lot of the wrestlers when they were done with their matches, and it was really cool. We actually got to hang out with them. Quinn from Private Party was there, which I felt so honored because he remembered me. And it was just really fun, and it was really cool to see everyone there. Everyone was just having fun. This was another show that had I think it was probably like 2 or 3 kids there, and they were just lit. They were just being loud. The show was so awesome. I really enjoyed it. This show kind of convinced me, you know what, maybe going to the Bronx isn't that bad. So the next time they have a show, just go. Alright, so the face is all bronzed up and ready to go. About to get this highlighting on because when I did my Sasha Banks video, I noticed she wasn't really wearing that much highlight. So to have that liquid highlighter on, it was good, but it was not enough. Now, I know I have been plugging. Yeah, there we go. I don't think Zelina Vega had highlight on, but I'm sorry. Your girl needs highlight because look at that shit. Now, I know I've been pushing the No Holds Barred network pretty hard, but it's not just because Tiffany's a good friend of mine. The network is really good, and there aren't a lot of channels, especially on YouTube, that really talk about indie wrestling. I mean, there probably are. I haven't really searched for them. So sorry. Alright, so eyeliner and talking is never gonna happen, so get used to it now. I know I've been pushing the No Holds Barred network, but of course I have my reasons. There aren't really a lot of networks on YouTube or out there who really talk about, you know, indie wrestling. Of course we have Fight TV, IWTV, and there are some interviews, there are some shows on there, but if you want to get intimate with some of these wrestlers, this is definitely a network to check out. And they just partnered with Power Slam TV. I never heard of this network before. Okay, another friggin' subscription that I'm going to need because I know I'm going to need it. Oh my god. It is Indie Wrestling Heaven. Oh my god. So since they are partnered with them, you will get 1 free month. No holds free is the code. Oh my god, you guys will not regret it. Oh my god. It's Indie Heaven, like I just said. There are hundreds of promotions on there, interviews, crazy matches, everything. Like, I probably spent the last 2 days just watching random promotions like Bar Wrestling, PWG, Evolve, Shine. I'm about to start getting our Stardom. I know Stardom's not on there, but that's another subscription that I'm going to be spending my money on. But it's so friggin' dope. Like I said, it's Indie Heaven. You want to watch some of your favorites before they got on WWE, AEW, Impact. This is definitely the network. I love it. And even after the free month, it's only $6. I mean, it's $6 friggin' a month. I'm just saying, like, come on. Now, speaking of plugging, oh my god, the show has so many friggin' plugs. I don't care. It's totally worth it. Now, I was not aware. Now, before I get into it, I knew about game streaming. You know, Mixer, Twitch, all that fun stuff. Shit, one of my best friends, he's a game streamer. I wasn't aware people stream wrestling games and do their own commentary. You know, one of my friends who was on the unpopular review team, she used to do that for a network. And of course, my good friend Ray does the same thing. And I'm just over here like, wow, people actually do this? This is crazy. So I checked out one of his streams way earlier before when we were still getting to know each other. First of all, he's awesome on commentary. He's great. It's actually better on commentary than the actual commentary in the game. So he is currently streaming 2K20, and he's actually trying to make the game great. You know, I play video games, but I was never really into wrestling games. I think the last wrestling game I played was SmackDown versus Raw versus SmackDown. I think it was 2003 or something. It was a long time ago. So I wasn't aware people stream wrestling games. So when I checked out his stream, first of all, he is great on commentary. I'm loving it. And the good thing about this game, he not only is he trying to make it great, but he is using the customization part of the game to create indie wrestlers. So he is literally creating dream matches from indie wrestlers that are still in the indies now to guys who are in AEW, NXT, Impact, and it's actually really, really, really fun. So if you guys are really into that, I will leave his info in the description box as well as the No Holds Barred Network. Check it out. It's a lot of fun, you know, something to pass the time. And believe it or not, there are a lot of indie wrestlers out on there that he's created that I didn't really know. I mean, I was familiar with a lot of the cards that he create, but there are some wrestlers that he created on there creating these dream matches, and I'm like, I don't know who this is. Let me check this guy out. Because he's creating him. He's spending hours creating these friggin' wrestlers in this game, so there gotta be a reason that they're good. So definitely check that out if you're into gaming streaming. If you're into indie wrestling, you want to know more, check both of those out. Now I'm going to finish making myself pretty, and I'll be right back. Alright, and here's the final look, and oh my god. You guys have no idea how much I'm loving this look. I usually get really nervous playing with blacks, but it's makeup. You make mistakes, and for those who are still new to makeup and scared to use black eyeshadow, remember, build lightly, take your time with the blending, because you do not want to come out here looking like a crazy raccoon. I started to look like it, but you know what? I cleaned up. I blended with other colors. It's okay. You will get there. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I will leave every single makeup product I use in the description down below. I will leave the link to the No Holds Barred Network and Ray Ramundo's gaming channel. And yeah, it's wrestling. Have fun. Expand your horizons for you WWE marks who don't want to watch anything else. It's fun shit. It's good shit. Believe me. I used to be one of you. Now, I've been open to a whole new world. Thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you soon. Bye!